This is such a great question. How do leaders bridge the credibility gap in a crisis? Here's what's interesting. In the world going forward, we all are leading in a particular way. We all need to lead in the area that we actually are responsible for. So whether or not you're the top leader in the company, or whether or not you're leading people who are your customers, who are just following you or listening, or those people who work with you, they may be peers, they may be people above you, but you have the opportunity to lead. And so what is a credible way to lead in the future? First, I'd say is lead by example. If you feel that it is important to wear a mask, then you need to wear a mask all the time. You can just say it and not do it. All right? That said, unless there's legal rights for you to say to other people they should wear a mask, and by the way, this is happening in the States in a number of different places inside, and in order to protect health, that might be a way in which you're going to lead. That would be important. Now, what happens when you go outside and you go to restaurants and you go to outside events and conferences and fun events? Do you wear a mask? Now, for me personally, I went to my first conference with a couple hundred people in the room, and I would say 99%, maybe 99.5% of the people did not wear a mask. Now, I wore the mask in the entire time because that was how I wanted to represent who I was for others. So how do you lead? How do you lead with confidence in a crisis? Well, most importantly is looking at those skill sets associated with credibility. First of all, making people feel comfortable that you do have the intent and commitment to do the right thing. You have both the internal integrity that this is the right thing that feels right in your bones as a servant leader to do that, and you have the external integrity to reinforce that you've done that over and over. In cases, let's say it was a crisis where somebody at the executive team made a mistake. In some cases, it's appropriate to be vulnerable and actually say, this is what we said then, this is what we're saying now. That exudes a level of confidence. Now, people may not be confident that there was a mistake in the past. What you want to do is say, with all the information we have available at our disposal right now, this is what we would recommend going further. You know, the thing that's interesting, what's appropriate about being credible, what's appropriate here is to be coachable. So in leading through a crisis, how many people can you talk to? Who can you talk to? Where can you get advice? Where could you share information? So when you don't know 100% of what the outcome is, and when do we actually know that, then what you need to do is share enough information to try to make people feel comfortable that you're on top of it, that you will let them know that you, as much as you know, you'll let them know as soon as possible. And if there's a way in which to fix or cure that, you know, you're going to spend the time, money, and energy to make that happen. And so leading through the crisis, one of the things that I do remember happening is what's important is to stay very steady stream in your responses. It is really difficult when you're flopping your suggestions and your ideas and what you recommend to others. So being a little bit more consistent in terms of what happens, trying your best to lead with the best effects, the best thoughts for those people that are affected. Now, I would be excited about answering this question in relation to a very specific crisis. So feel free if there are particular crises that you would like me to address this issue on, because what's going to happen, I'll place it within the framework. There are 10 skill sets associated with credibility, and I will make sure that we place the crisis situation within those skill sets. You know, in this episode, the particular focus of Dear Credibility Expert was, well, how do leaders act in a crisis? Well, first of all, you are a leader by definition, whether or not you're just leading yourself or leading those around you. And then the question is, when there's a crisis, do you always do the right thing? And that's what I suggest you do, is focus on having both the intent and commitment to do the right thing from your heart that is of the best benefit for those around you. Hey, I hope you found this useful. Look forward to hearing your feedback. Feel free to click on the like button, share with your friends, and more importantly, write some comments on there in terms of what you're thinking and where you would take this situation. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye now.